Today was supposed to be opening day in baseball. Fresh new threads everywhere. But while we wait, don't think those jerseys are collecting dust. Major League Baseball and apparel company Fanatics are offering help to healthcare workers in need of masks and hospital gowns during the COVID-19 pandemic. Fanatics has stopped production of MLB jerseys using those same pieces to produce the masks and gowns. Currently, they've begun production using the official threads from the Yankees and the Phillies jerseys. Love this story. And Fanatics executive, chairman and Sixers co-owner Michael Rubin joins us now on SportsCenter. Michael, how did you get the idea to start producing these masks and gowns?
You know, truth be told, I only watch live sports on television normally, but I was with no live sports. I was watching CNN last week, and they were talking about how they needed more tests, how they needed more ventilators, how they needed all kinds of just different products to help with this. And I went to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, wait a second. We own a large apparel manufacturing facility in Pennsylvania that makes all the Major League Baseball jerseys. And I emailed my guys in the middle of the night and said, how do we start making masks and gowns? And they came back to me the next day and said, we're going to work on it. And then a few days later, St. Luke's Hospital reached out to us and said, hey, we really need help with making masks. And a few days after that, the governor and attorney general of Pennsylvania each reached out to me and said, we really need help. Can you do this? And sure enough, yesterday we started production of masks and gowns.
Michael, what was Major League Baseball's reaction to this idea?
You know, I called Rob Manfred on Monday morning. I said, Rob, you know, I've got an idea. We could actually take the fabric that we make jerseys with and use it to make both masks and gowns. It's the same fabric that we make jerseys with. And Rob's first question was, this is amazing. How do you do this as quickly as possible? And I said, hey, you worried about running out of materials for jerseys? He says, Michael, let's just focus on how do we make these masks and gowns as quickly as possible. So they were incredibly supportive, and we're hoping we can make 1 million masks and gowns over the next 2 months, and you know, hopefully that will make a small difference.
What's going to be the cost for the hospitals?
We're not. So baseball and Fanatics decided we want to bear that expense. So originally the governor had offered to pay our cost to do this. It's about $3 per mask, and masks are going to be primarily what we make. So it's about $3 million of cost of just the actual fabrics and the labor to do it. And it's, I think, baseball and our pleasure to do that at our expense.
Small cost, potentially saving lives down the road. Now, I mentioned off the top that you're the co-owner of the Sixers, and earlier this week, the ownership group of the Sixers and the New Jersey Devils reversed course on a plan to reduce salaries by 20% for full-time employees, making at least $50,000 while the NBA and the NHL seasons are suspended. Now, Sixers managing partner Josh Harris, he issued an apology saying he was wrong. What was your initial reaction when you heard about these salary cuts for people who work for the Sixers and the Devils?
Yeah, look, as an organization, the decision was made together to do this. I think the great thing about our ownership group is if we don't get something right, we're not afraid to say, hey, we didn't get it right, and then fix it. So, you know, as an entrepreneur, we screw things up all the time. And the most important thing is if you don't get it right, you got to fix it. I think we're good listeners, and we realized we didn't get it right, and we fixed it. That's what counts.
You mentioned good listeners. Now, when the cuts were made public, there was a public outcry. Joel Embiid offered to help everybody. How much did that pushback from Philly fans help in getting this decision reversed?
You know, I think, to be honest, there's so much going on in business right now, and I think everyone realizes that. You know, each of the owners of the Sixers have so many companies they're responsible for, and I think, you know, you don't always give as much, you don't always, you know, spend as much time as each thing as you'd like to. We were there already before Joel, you know, made his tweet talking about the incredible commitment he made. And by the way, that he's going to commit $500,000 to help fight the coronavirus is incredible. But we were already there. I mean, we've kind of gotten there in the previous hours.
One thing that stands out here, because we don't often have owners here on SportsCenter talking, what role do you think sports organizations as well as pro sports leagues have in these uncertain times right now in giving back and helping?
Yeah, I think we have a big role. And one of the things I realized both as a successful entrepreneur and having a small part in sports, I think we've got a big opportunity to help make a difference. And I think right now, not only is sports incredibly important to have sports come back and help us to bring happiness to, you know, all of our fans everywhere in the world, but I think as owners, we've got a responsibility to help, you know, our associates, help our fans. I think as a leader, I'm so proud of what we're doing at Fanatics. We have 7,000 employees at Fanatics who, when we talked about making masks, they were so excited to help make a difference on how could we keep people safer and how could we help the heroes in the front line, really the medical professionals that are doing all the work. And so I think if you're in business, whether it's a sports team, whether it's Fanatics, which is my primary job, you've got a big opportunity to make a big difference. And I think in general, business leaders throughout the world, and certainly in America, whether sports leaders or business leaders, we have a responsibility to use our assets to help make a difference, whether it's to fight the coronavirus or whether it's to help make the world a better place. And that's certainly what we did when we started the Reform Alliance last year, because we wanted to make a big difference on how do we change criminal justice reform, where I think everyone knows the story of my good friend who went to prison for not committing the crime. We turned that into something much bigger. So I think we've got a big opportunity. I think we've done that with the Reform Alliance. I think we're making a small difference here. I think I'm always going to look to try to help if we can.
Certainly leading the way with this idea, Michael. Thank you. Fanatics and Major League Baseball certainly stepping up for healthcare workers who are taking risks to help others. We appreciate it here on SportsCenter.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.